Anyway, we're playing Fallacy Quiz. What's Fallacy Quiz? I think it's like a kind of a trivia game that teaches you logical fallacies. I thought it was like a smart idea for me to play this because I get accused of using fallacies from time to time just because I'm so good at winning arguments. I remember there was that clip of me playing Fortnite with Dan where I said that like I use straw men from time to time, but it's not a fallacy, it's a rhetorical technique. And people were like, I don't know if you could just say that. Well, let's learn something. You may think climate change is a real problem for humankind, but I'm not sure that's important. That's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That's valid, but I disagree with you. Never mind. I thought that, how is it, whoa. How is it invalid for them to say they don't care about climate change? I'm not saying it's like a good opinion. I'm just saying, like, I thought that it passed the Greek rhetoric check in my head. I've ordered twice, and twice I've received a damaged package. I'm never ordering anything again. So this is pissing me off. They gave me an achievement for being a cheater because I paused the countdown while the game was running. This seems valid to me. This is valid, man. They're not saying every package I order is gonna be damaged. They're just saying, fool me once, fucking shame on you. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. This is valid. Fuck you. What do you mean hasty generalization? Consume. Even though we sent you a damaged box 2 times in a row, keep buying that shit. What are you talking about, man? Hasty generalization. I'm gonna be insufferable after I platinum this game. There are no artificial ingredients in it, and that's why it's good. Fallacious. It's good in spite of not having artificial ingredients in it. I really prefer this candidate because I think it's a better choice. That's fallacious. You didn't give a good reason. Circular read, yeah, that was like difficulty degree 10 out of 10. Working out with only your body weight is better than working out with machines or accessories because it's less artificial. Things people actually believe, but this is an appeal to nature. Oh, I'm learning too much already. He broke my pen. It would only be fair to break his. That's 2 wrongs make a right, but it is also valid. That's the code of Hammurabi. The thing is, people think that the code of Hammurabi is not good because it's like, if a man misrepresents like the purity of his precious metals in a marketplace, they should cut off like one of his butt cheeks or something. But like, you gotta remember that it shouldn't be perfectly fair. Because if it was perfectly fair, then the person who started it has an advantage because they get to choose when to instigate fairness. It should be a little bit unfair to deter the person from doing bad stuff to begin with. It should be like a elevated tit for tat. Like if you both had 10,000 HP, if somebody out of nowhere used braver against you and took 1,000 HP off, your recompense should be able to be to like take off 1750. Because then it means that they will be less likely to hit you in the first place with their limit break. Also, they got me laughing in the Discord last night. Let me see if I can find this. It was about the code of Hammurabi. Well, you're right. An eye for an eye is not good. But if somebody fucking plucks out my eye, I should be able to pluck out their eye and also cut off 2 fingers. Because like an eye for an eye isn't fair. That dude's an asshole. It made me lose an eye. Then I don't really get anything out of making him lose an eye. But if I get him worse than he got me, at least I can be like, you should see the other guy. That's an appeal to spite. Oh, you're afraid of debate. And you're running away from debate. Code of Hammurabi says if a guy sings poorly in a pavilion, he shall be run through by a motor vehicle and any earnings shall be paid to his widow in corn. That was a great message from Beppa Biba. When I saw that, I replied to that. I said, dead ass. I thought that was a great comment. I don't think we should let 16-year-olds vote. Soon they'll be asking to allow 12-year-olds to vote too. That's slippery slope, bro. Can I say something? Slippery slope is one of those fallacies that is a fallacy, but also I think is valid in some situations. There are a lot of slopes that are slippery, man. What's a slippery slope? Having 2 beers. Because after you have 2 beers, the barrier to entry for having a 3rd beer is lower than it's ever been. And the worst part is, the smarter you are, the more victim you are to the slippery slope non-fallacy, because you're like, that's not true. Slippery slope is a fallacy. I'll have another beer. And before you know it, you're sliding down the slope, man. That's a false equivalence. You can't fallacy my fallacy. You can't fallacy my fallacy, man. That's fallacious. Ah, la, 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 la. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. There's no slope in the example you provided. Get out the Cartesian plane, and on the bottom is the x-axis is time, and then the y-axis is beers, and then make it go up, and then tell me what it looks like. Tell me if you got on the top of that with skis on, you wouldn't find yourself at the bottom pretty soon. The earth is flat, and I won't accept any argument that contradicts this because it's part of a conspiracy. All these arguments are fabricated from scratch. I'm going to say that sounds like a hasty generalization. That's an appeal to consequences. My bad. That's valid. What the fuck is an interlocutor? Can't we just say friend? Or is it because you called them interlocutors that you don't have any anymore? Believes in something. They will choose their positions so that none of the consequences of these would contradict what they believe in. I believe the earth is flat. If these images were real, it would mean the earth is round, so these images must be fake. In this case, you should ignore this argument and ask for a real basis to support their claims. If they persist, they probably aren't ready to question their unfounded beliefs. Damn, it's crazy how, like, whenever you identify a fallacy, the book is immediately like, you should just accept that you're smarter than your opponent and they're not ready to get on your level of enlightenment yet. What do you mean? I mean, okay, now the earth is round. I do need to say that, I think. April Fools. What do you mean it's too late to turn the music up? Basically, you're saying we shouldn't have fun at all. Valid. It's too late. That's a straw man. They never said that. I'm an expert at those. This NGO does really useful work for society. Their director must be a good person. That's a fallacy of division, because the fucking whole isn't the sum of its parts or whatever. This consists in claiming that a part of something possesses a property just because the whole thing does. For example, this metal airplane flies, so metal can fly. But metal can fly. You just have to mold it into the shape of an airplane. Am I stupid or too smart for this game? I can't figure it out. Metal can fly. You just turn it into an airplane. This doesn't make... Your interlocutor must demonstrate that a property of the whole remains valid for one of its parts. They cannot just assert it. They're destroying the exception by saying that all metal can't fly, man. What about airplanes? You're running from debate. These glasses were offered for an extra $1 on top of your other glasses, so they must be really bad quality. Don't put them on. That's jumping to conclusions. Okay, I know that it was about money and there was an appeal to money option in there, but that's jumping to conclusions, isn't it? You see one piece of data that says, like, these might be bad, and you jump to conclusions. Don't call this cheating, by the way. This is pissing me off. You know the motherfuckers who invented this shit, it wasn't like epic rap battles of history. Shit was like Cato the Elder versus Vercingetorix. They would have a debate over like 30 years of letters back and forth. Like, the shit was by correspondence. It's not like they had 10 seconds to reply to each other. They were chiseling their fucking shit in the marble, man. They had plenty of... the game says it's cheating? Appeal to authority, motherfucker. They didn't make the rules of rhetoric. They just made the game. That's an appeal to authority, bitch! We often confuse the price of a product or service with its quality. Some people exploit this mistake to make it seem like a product or service is of a higher quality just based on its price. That's real, though. If somebody said, here's a battery pack for your cellular telephone, for your electronic devices, plug it in and it recharges your phone in 10 minutes. And then I said, oh, that sounds amazing. How much is it? And they were like, it's $2.99 Canadian. I'd be like, I'm not buying that shit. It's going to start a fire. It's going to burn down my house. But if they were like, it's like $99, I'd be like, a fair price for a fair product. You got a deal, sir. That's the fallacy, but it's valid. From your employer. It's either you do what you are asked or you'll be broke or on the streets. False dilemma. I could be broke in my house for a bit. Companies frequently make profits. Therefore, the purpose of a company is to make profits. That's affirming the consequent. I don't know what that means, though. Let's see what affirming the consequent means. We're learning a lot about how to be annoying today, man. We have a cause that is known to imply a consequence. I missed my bus, so I'm late. Okay, I missed my bus, so I'm late. But if you don't pay attention, you can be made to believe that the cause happened just by mentioning the consequence. Even though that isn't necessarily the case. Oh, I use this all the time. This is not a fallacy, it works. You just say, sorry, I'm late. And then people know that you have a kid and they assume that your kid is the reason you're late, even though you didn't say that. It's not a fallacy, it works, man, it's valid. If he misses the bus, then he's late. He's late, therefore he missed his bus. This is one of the possibilities, yes, but you cannot just deduce that. But that's why it's valid, because you can't ask why someone is late. That's, for some reason, at least in my culture, that's considered like a very personal question. You're just supposed to tank the psychic damage from them being late. Those oranges have no seeds. There's only a 1% chance that you'll encounter one. It won't happen, so you feel free to take a bite without worrying. Appeal to probability. See, this shit is pissing me off. I feel like an appeal to probability. They were reaching when they came up with this fallacy. This is like a good way to live your life, man. And I'm not putting on airs on this one. What do you mean by that? Well, I just mean like the odds of your plane crashing are like 1 in 100. So don't be scared. That seems like that's just a useful model for how to live your life. I'm not saying it's useless to know what fallacies are and how to identify them to improve your critical thinking. All I'm gonna say is I do think there's times where your argument can be so good that even if it is completely based on logical fallacies, you're still right, in my opinion. Like if your argument's a little shaky, you could be like, hey man, you denied the antecedent there, just so you know. But if your argument is like rock solid and you go, well, that's an appeal to authority. Well, you lost, bro. That you basically doubled down on losing, in my opinion. Like if someone burns you and you're like, oh, that's an ad hominem fallacy. Oh, that's an ad hominem fallacy. There's 2 for flinching. A lot of arguing is just vibes, man. It's vibes and then like 30% being the last person to talk. You just used a fallacy in your argument, so you're wrong. That's fallacy. Oh, the ultimate Uno reverse card. You were saying that women have always been paid less than men and conclude that we should continue doing so. You're making an appeal to tradition, which means that you are wrong. Hey, whoa, hang on here, hang on. That's a fallacy, but I also think that you blew them out, so. Just everybody relax, okay? They didn't give me valid as an option. Hang on, I'm gonna go try multiplayer because I think we're kind of reaching the end of. I basically am saying I've learned about all the fallacies. I'm thinking, let's just see if this puts my IP address on this. Oh, it's only local multiplayer. Can you imagine? Hey, come on over. I got some new games to play. Oh, all right, well, you better not. Your horny ass better not put on fallacy quiz again. Oh, it crashed. All right, well. Follow the sound of my voice. I can sing a song if it makes it better. Alright, in the town where I was born lived a man who said to sea. Then he told us of his life in his yellow submarine. Skies are blue and days are green. Many more of us that live next door. All we need, skies of pink and subs of yellow in our yellow shrubbery. Come on, sing it with me. I'm not moving, you're trolling me, I'm leaving.